Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and for this one we are going to be seeing the debut of both the route and the loco. So for the route, we are on the South London network. This is a route that I've had for about a month or so. And I've not actually played it all that much, and I don't really know why. We'll give it the once over with this one. So as far as our journey goes, we are starting at London Bridge, and our destination is London Victoria. Now that is the start and finishing points. You could walk that no problem, but no one who's getting onto the train for London Bridge is doing so with the intention of going to London Victoria. This is it's not really a circle line as such, but it's like it's a loop. Specifically, it's the outer loop. Once we're actually into the game, I'll show you the map of the area that this route covers, and you'll see what I mean. So that's the route that we are doing. And as for the train, well, it's a 4-car set in the Southern livery. I'm not quite sure why it's the Southern livery. I don't think they would have done this route. And it is a class 456. It's a train that's never going to win any prizes as far as being a looker, but it does drive quite well, so it's not at all bad. As for the specifics, it is summer, it is cloudy, and it is 10 AM. So let's get this up and running. And here we are. Let's start setting the train up. It's not going to take much to do. Yeah, that is pretty much it. So yeah, here is our class 456 EMU. The 456 is one of those trains that it always looks a bit sort of like miserable, and it's a bit of a pig, there's no doubt about it. And I mean, looking at it, I can never really sort of like see any sort of occasion where this train wouldn't look really miserable and dull and and not all that. Even when it was brand new, I mean, these things started running in, I think it was 89. So anyway, yeah, we are in a 4-car EMU, and we are starting at London Bridge. This is the first time this station has appeared in any of these videos. London Bridge is a bit of a strange old station because it's part terminus and part not a terminus. So yeah, you enter this station on certain lines, and yeah, you can go straight through it. I think you end up going to certainly Cannon Street. I think you might end up going to Charing Cross. Yeah, I think so. But Anyway, all of that's by the by. This is where we are starting. So let's take a look at the map. So this is the area that this route DLC covers. So yeah, we are here, I'm pretty sure. Let's just yep. So that is London Bridge, and there are two loops that we can follow. So there's the inner loop. They're also called the inner and outer ring. So yeah, whether it's loop or ring. But anyway, that's the first loop. You can see the two stations are really close to each other, but it is yeah, very much a commuter run. Now, it doesn't just follow, like, you know, the loops. As you can see, there's all sorts of routes crisscrossing all over the place. So anyway, yeah, so that is the inner loop. The inner loop always has an extension which goes up around here and then comes back down again. But we are going on the outer loop, which takes us out here, around here, and then back down into London, Victoria that way. So we'll get to see certainly more of this particular route this way, but yeah, you can see there is plenty of the route that we will not be seeing on this particular run, but hopefully there will be some requests coming along that yeah, we'll want to see more of it. Now, there's not a great deal of setting up to do in the cab here. In fact, as I've already done the lights, that is pretty much it. So let's sort out passengers. I was going to say, yeah, there was certainly one guy who was waiting to get on. Looks like he was the only one. Being a commuter run, and you know, it's a very short run, 16.13 miles, and that's the outer loop. We will stop at every station, so it could be a bit of a long run. Okay, wait for the brakes to disengage, and then let's get underway. So like I say, this train is not a looker. It's a real miserable, sorry looking thing, but it does drive. Actually, it does drive really well. I say it drives quite nicely. That's putting it very mildly. As we come out of London Bridge, right at the base of the Shard. Very soon entering a 60 mph zone. In fact, we are entering it. There we go. Bug it straight into full power, straight into Wheatfield. So top speed of the 456 is 75. I think it's got it written there somewhere, yeah, right there. So yeah, it's not going to win any. It's not going to win any awards for its speed, although it's more likely to do that than it is for its looks. But it was never built for speed. This sort of commuter run is absolutely what this train was built for. this is very much the kind of route that I think would appeal to Jim Plays, and if he was to do a video on this route, he would be able to tell you a damn sight more about this area than I can. But well, hopefully there'll be a station or two where I can actually tell you something, but I don't know South London all that well. I mean, I've been to Dulwich a few times because my last girlfriend was from Dulwich. She certainly wasn't your typical sort of Dulwich person. She wasn't snobby, not by even the remotest standards. So that flashing yellow, we are going to be changing line. So we go over points, and I think these are the points that take us off what would be the inner loop, the inner ring, and moving us onto the outer ring. So New Cross Gate is our first stop. So a single yellow, but the signal is also showing us that the junction is fine. We can already see the next station, which is Brockley. So we're now in the 25 zone, and that is why, as we move across the points onto the next I mean, I'm assuming this is the reason for putting us on here is so that we are going to then be able to take the outer loop rather than staying on the inner one. Okay, so first stop here at New Cross Gate, and seeing these London Overground yeah, the signs with the station name on there does get me thinking. I mean, I don't remember ever seeing a London Overground train operating south of the river. I mean, I know that the actual like official overground lines are all north of the river, but surely the overground trains can operate south of the river as well. So onwards to the next station, which is Brockley. Anyway, I was saying about the South London areas that I know. So yeah, it was Dulwich, and there's also Brixton. Brixton is one of those areas of London that has a dreadful reputation. I've been there 2 or 3 times, and I have no problem with it at all. I do not see why so many people seem to think it's a rough old area. I mean, it's not exactly abundant with, you know, great sights of London, but it's all right actually. I've got no problem at all with Brixton. Very rare that you need to go above step 2 braking in this train. Brakes are fantastic. So here we are at Brockley. Again, don't really know much about this part of London. Just going to say, it looks like it's keeping us here for a little while. Right, onwards. So next station I'm pretty sure is Honor Oak. I think I did see it briefly on the route display. Yeah, there it is. About 3/4 of a mile away. I thought we might get... Actually, I think on this route we will get some trackside views. Obviously, this is not one of them. And not here either. Oh well. So we're on a 1 in 100 uphill gradient here, so we are not needing to brake as we approach Honor Oak Park, that's the full name, but obviously we are going to need to brake at some point, but at the moment we're fine. In fact, we are coming in quite slow. Okay, we'll put the brakes into step 2 and make sure we don't roll back. So here we are at Honor Oak Park. There's the park itself there. Okay, onwards. So I think next station is Forest Hill. Indeed it is. About 3/4 of a mile. This really isn't that much different to doing an underground sort of run, except of course we are not underground, but you know what I mean. looks like a fair sized station. I don't think this is just a commuter station here. So yeah, here we are at Forest Hill. Now 456 in all its glory. I mean, you look at this, and then you look at, say, the 313, the PEP, and then you tell me which is the oldest of the two. This looks a lot older, and yeah, it's the PEP by about 10 years. Okay, onwards to the next stop, which I think is Sydenham. Yep. And we have, I think we're going over points again, at 20 mph speed reduction. It's very short, and there we go, flashing signals there telling us that that is indeed what is going to be happening. This is the single flashing yellow. So, Sydenham, not a favourite part of London, this. So, yeah, changing onto this line. I think the line we were on is going to take us sort of towards Crystal Palace, but we are going further south than that, so we are now in the 60 zone. Oh, in fact, Crystal Palace is the next station, so... So we are into a 40 zone. It's fairly short though. Just while we cross over that, I think that's part of the Brighton line there that we've just gone over. Oh, got up to 40. Bit of a pause there. So Crystal Palace is certainly a fairly major station for the South London network. So here we are. There is the Crystal Palace transmitter. I think it's grade 2 listed, so yeah, that's always going to stay there even though it's no longer in use. I think that's all we can really see here. We can't see the Selhurst Park ground of Crystal Palace FC. Okay, onwards. So we're now on the part of the loop that is about to start taking us back towards central London. So Gypsy Hill is the next station. It always reminds me of there was a dreadful rap song that was I think it was out around 2004. I think it was called Getting Tipsy, and yeah, the chorus, such as it is, was just everybody in the club's getting tipsy. But when I first heard it, and this is absolutely genuine, when I first heard it, I could have sworn that what he was actually singing or rapping or whatever was everybody in the club needs a gypsies. And I remember thinking, why the fuck would someone write a song about that? Yeah, I'm really up on the old rap music, mate. So yeah, here we are at Gypsy Hill. Right, I don't know what the next station is. I'm not too sure on the stations from this point on. So we'll just accelerate up to 35, so it's West Norwood is the next stop. a steep downhill gradient here, picking up speed something fierce. 1 in 75. So we're into the 35 zone. Okay, so we're now into a 50, but there's so little time before we've then got to bring our speed down again to 20 as we are approaching West Norwood Station. And we're still on this downhill gradient, 1 in 69 at the moment. So, yep, here is West Norwood Station. Right, so need to be a bit careful pulling out of here. Make sure we don't end up speeding. Although the gradient has just sorted itself out. Really not sure what that AWS alert was for. So we're now on a 1 in 72 uphill. And we've just entered a 30 mph zone. So Streatham Hill is the next station. Okay, so into a 50 zone, pick up a little speed, not too much though, as we do have Streatham Hill Station coming along fairly soon. Yeah, that'll do. This caveat light is not particularly useful, is it? So we're on a 1 in 111 downhill section. It's going to interfere with the braking. It's kind of a good thing that the platforms at this station are very staggered. So yeah, here we are, Streatham Hill. Streatham is another part of South London rather like Brixton. It has a bit of a crappy reputation, but it's not, I don't think it's that bad. I don't mind Streatham. Onwards, we do have a speed decrease to 30 coming up in about a third of a mile. We also have Balham Station coming up fairly soon. So yeah, we'll this 1 in 99 downhill section we're on is going to ensure we keep accelerating. So ground has levelled out a bit. In fact, it has completely levelled out. So it'll take us up to 30 mph as we approach Balham. In fact, we'll be in a 60 mph zone as we pull into Balham Station. And we have Wandsworth Common coming up after that. I'm kind of wondering if this is part of either the Brighton line or the Portsmouth direct line that we are now on. So, yep, Balham Station right here. And here, church bells in the distance. Sounds like they're off in that direction. Okay, so onwards, next stop is Wandsworth Common. In fact, it's very close, not even half a mile. On a 1 in 93 downhill section again. Let's just ease a little bit. So, yeah, here we are at Wandsworth Common Station. Yeah, the common itself, just over there. Set off, and we're already on the 60 mph 60 mph zone. We are pretty close to London Victoria Station. In fact, we are less than 4 miles away from it, so there's probably still going to be a good couple of stations to come. I can't imagine that you know, there are not going to be any more, but you never know, especially as, yeah, we are certainly on one of the main lines here. So this is where, if it was Jim doing this video, he would be able to tell you straight away, yeah, this is the Brighton line, or this is the you know, the Portsmouth Direct line. I mean, it's taking us to Clapham Junction, and of course we will be stopping there. I think Clapham Junction actually appears on both, whether you're going to Portsmouth or Brighton. You are going through the yeah, you are going through Clapham Junction. I started braking far too early for this one. Very slow approach speed for yeah, for us approaching Clapham Junction. I mean, we don't have to go this slow whenever we are going through this on any of the other lines. So into the 20 mph zone. And we're basically out of it as soon as we leave Clapham Junction station. Yeah, not the greatest platforms on this station. They're all very curved. Not what you really want. Nevertheless, here we are at a unnaturally quiet Clapham Junction. It would never normally be this quiet. Look at this. There's not a single other train anywhere to be seen. You would never get that. There's also hardly anybody here. And this is the second busiest station in the country. So, yeah. Okay, so onwards. So entering or re-entering the 60 zone. And we're now in it. Let's throttle up. Probably best we only throttle up to 45, seeing as we do have that speed reduction coming up. I have have no idea why that was yeah, why the AWS went off there. So Battersea Park, next station. I'm pretty sure that is the final station before London Victoria. One in 91 uphill climb here. It is the Brighton line we're on. So yeah, Battersea Park. Yeah, typical. We can't quite see Battersea Power Station because it's yeah, behind these old gas towers, I think. Okay, onwards for the final stretch, taking us to London Victoria. So yeah, there is Battersea Power Station. It has changed a bit nowadays, to put it mildly. So double yellow, I think that's okay for yeah, for our approach. I think that's the first speeding error I've got right at the very end. On a 1 in 62 downhill, so yeah, we are going to be picking up speed at a bit of a rate. So it has now levelled out. Coming in at 15, or 14 then. Because that does not look like it's marked on the HUD, but I am pretty sure the approach to certainly the London terminals is 15. Although there is no sign of a 15 mph limit so far. Pick up some speed anyway. Or get relatively close to the buffers. There we go. So here we are. I think, yeah, still a bit of a gap there. That's a pretty good stop. So that was London Bridge to London Victoria via the South London network outer ring or outer loop, and I did really well until right near the end there. I am pretty sure that was the only error I got on that run. Yeah, speeding once. So yeah, there we go. It's a decent route if you like, you know, the frequent stops, you know, doing the commuter runs. And also if you do like, you know, the big cities and that, and don't get much bigger than London, especially if you're doing UK routes. And the class 456, yeah, it's not a looker by any stretch. It's one of the dreariest, ugliest looking trains that operate. Actually, I'm not sure if they still operate these days, but well, I don't think anyone's going to miss them if they're not, but they are actually pretty good to drive. In fact, I'll say they're great to drive. So yeah, if you're doing such a run where, you know, you're going to be needing an EMU and you're doing a lot of commuter stops like this, the 456 is not a bad choice at all. So there we go. That is this video done, and we will see you at the next one.